The world around him collapsed into silence. It happened in seconds. One moment, little Diego was giggling in the back seat of their black SUV, tossing a tiny football his father had given him just a week earlier. The next, his mother was on her knees in the living room, screaming into the phone as the news anchor's trembling voice echoed off the walls. Portuguese international Diego Hod has died in a tragic high-speed crash. Diego didn't understand those words back then. He didn't understand why people in red jerseys were crying outside their home, why strangers lit candles on the sidewalk, why the lights in their house never went off for 3 days. He only knew that his father never came home to tuck him in again. Now, at 14, he understands everything. And that understanding fuels a fire that almost no one can see, except when he steps onto a field. They say legacy isn't what you leave behind. It's what lives on in the hearts of those who loved you. For Diego, the only son of Diego Hod, that legacy is not just a name on the back of a jersey. It is a whisper in the dark. It's a promise he made silently to himself the night the world fell apart. Most days he trains alone. Early mornings before school. Late evenings when the sky fades into the same color as the stadium lights that once shone on his father. From the kitchen window, his mother, Ines, often watches him. She doesn't say a word, but she sees everything. The way he mimics his father's dribbles, the same left-footed strikes, the same habit of tapping his chest twice after every goal, like his dad used to do. Behind their house sits a small field. It wasn't always there. It was built by Liverpool fans after Dio's passing, a gift of love, memory, and heartbreak. At the center of that field is a single white steel post with one number carved into it. 20. That was Hod's number. Every time Diego walks past it, he bows his head. Not out of sadness, out of respect. People whisper that he's too young to carry so much weight. But those people weren't at Anfield during the tribute match. They didn't see him standing stone-faced, gripping his father's retired jersey while thousands of fans chanted, "Hoda forever!" He didn't cry then. He doesn't cry in public. But at night, in the quiet, he talks to his father. "Dad, I'm going to play for them one day. I promise, and I'll score just like you did. Maybe even more." In his room, there's a glass cabinet. Inside it are his father's boots, faded, cracked, and worn. Diego doesn't wear them. Not yet. He's waiting for the day he feels worthy. His coach, a retired Wolves Academy player, has seen a lot of talented kids, but he swears he's never seen fire like this in a 14-year-old. He doesn't just want to be great. He once said he wants to be his father's echo. "Hello, this is Matt from Liverpool Youth Academy. We've seen footage of your son, and we'd like to invite him for a private session." For a moment, Ines couldn't breathe. She turned to see Diego standing there with one foot on the ball, his father's old training hoodie draped over his shoulders, eyes wide with a spark she hadn't seen in years. 2 days later, they arrived at the Kirkby Training Center. No cameras, no announcements, no tributes. It wasn't about Dio anymore. It was about Diego. He didn't have the size or the strength yet, but he had something you can't teach: rhythm. Every touch, every feint, every strike seemed to flow like music. He didn't just play the ball, he spoke to it. Scouts whispered to each other. One trainer, a veteran kitman who had traveled with Dio for years, whispered, "It's like watching him again." But what truly silenced the field wasn't his goals. It was his celebration. After scoring a tight-angle screamer into the top corner, Diego ran to the corner flag, stopped, and raised his hands to his chest, forming a heart, just like his father. For a second, time froze. Even the air felt heavy with memory. That night, they drove home in silence. On the kitchen table sat a letter, an official invitation to join Liverpool's U15 development program. Diego didn't jump or shout. He simply placed the letter under the glass cabinet next to his father's boots. And for the first time, he opened that cabinet. Inside, the boots rested like relics. The leather was cracked, the laces frayed, and the soles still carried bits of earth. Diego touched them like he was touching a memory. They were heavy when he slipped them on, almost too big for his feet. But in that moment, they felt like wings. The next morning, just as the sun broke through the mist, he stepped onto the backyard field. The grass was wet with dew. The boots felt clumsy at first, but with every step, he felt closer to his father. He dribbled, he sprinted, and finally, he struck the ball with his left foot, top corner, just like his dad. He dropped to his knees, kissed the boots, and whispered to the sky, "I made it, Dad." No stadium, no crowd, just a boy, a ball, and a dream born from heartbreak. But it was his beginning, and beginnings, especially those carved from loss, carry more weight than any ending. Diego knows the road ahead won't be easy. People will say he's only here because of his last name. He'll face injuries, doubts, and lonely mornings. But they don't know about the quiet voice inside him, the one that whispers every day, "Keep going." One day, he'll walk through the Anfield Tunnel wearing number 20, not as a tribute stitched in memory, but as a player who earned it. And when he scores that first goal under the floodlights, he'll turn to the crowd, raise his hands to his chest, and form a heart, not because it's iconic, but because it's a promise finally kept. Until that day comes, he trains. Until that day comes, he becomes. Thank you for joining us on this emotional journey. If Diego's story touched your heart, and if you believe in legacy, love, and dreams, passed from one generation to the next, please like this video, subscribe to our channel, and turn on notifications. Because Diego's story isn't ending here.